Welcome back to the Echo Arena at Liverpool. And the next match will be the playoff for third and fourth position. And there we see the programme for this afternoon. As I just mentioned, third, fourth playoff. Vladimir Samsonov from Belarus against Zhu Jin of China. And following the completion of the third, fourth playoff, the final. Timo Boll against Marlon. But here come the players into the arena. And the gentleman playing in the black shirt is none other than 36-year-old Vladimir Samsonov. His opponent in the red shirt from China, Zhu Jin. 3 times European champion. Finalist at the World Championships. And there, Zhu Jin. Players being introduced to the crowd. As indeed now will the officials. And now, with formalities complete, the players and officials will shake hands. The players will go back to their respective corners, and they will shortly make their way out to the table, where they will have a 2-minute practice before this third, fourth playoff match commences. And really here we have a case of the experience of Samsonov against this young gentleman. Very dynamic, very quick on his feet, very powerful forehand topspin. Very good technique with the reverse backhand. And there we have the experience of Vladimir Samsonov. Currently number 14 in the world, has of course been number 1 in the world. And many of the people in the Echo Arena will remember some 15 years ago when he appeared in the final at the World Championship in Manchester, when arguably one of the greatest games ever seen. He lost to probably the best player I've ever seen, Jan-Ove Waldner. But what a performance he put in. So, the seasoned pro against the young pretender sat next to me. I'm delighted to say once again is Ian Marshall, former coach and team manager for the English table tennis team, and now the media guru on all matters for the International Table Tennis Federation. Ian, I'm going to put you on the spot straight away. How do you see this one going?
Zhu Jin. I think Bradley is not that confident against Zhu Jin, and the reason being is that they've already met in this tournament. They played in the group stage. Zhu Jin won 4-1. And I spoke to Vladdy after that match. He said, well, that's normal, that's what I really expected. But of course now it's a slightly bigger stage, and if we go back to, I think, 1996 in the French city of Nîmes, well, Vladimir Samsonov excelled on that occasion. He beat certain Ding Song, one of the world's great defensive players, and he finished in 3rd place. So he's accustomed to this match. But, well, Zhu Jin, he's rather special. He's quite unique. He's very much a one-off. He's a development of the penhold grip style of play. But of all the penhold grip players, he's somewhat different with this absolutely massive forehand stroke, and very, very much becoming the world master in the art of service and the fast first attack. For me, the best in the world at that art is Marlin, but I think now that Marlin has a worthy successor in Zhu Jin. Of course, if we go back some 20-odd years to the late 1980s, then the penhold grip player just used one side of the racket only, and the short pimpled rubber, as opposed to the smooth surface, was favoured in China. Certain that Zhang Jieliang became world champion using that technique, but once the Europeans, in the guise of Jan-Ove Waldner, Jorgen Persson, Mo Groskopf, who's here with Timo Boll, they started to beat the Chinese, then techniques had to change, and now we see Zhu Jin as a complete advancement of the penhold grip technique.
So the players now have completed all the formalities, including the 2-minute practice, and we're just about to start this playoff match for 3rd position. And it is Zhu Jin who will serve at the start. As always, it's the best of 7 games. Each game to 11 points. Great start by Samsonov. The serve was a little bit too long. Second bounce was over the baseline. Well picked up by Vladimir Samsonov. Pounced on the opportunity with the forehand topspin. And he wins the first point. Superb placement by Samsonov, pinning the ball into the backhand of Zhu Jin. And there we see Zhu Jin right around the forehand, the backside, trying to play the forehand. Samsonov exposes him wide on the forehand. Tried to go around the side of the net. I think that just caught the side of the table. Went downwards. It'd be great to see that on the replay. And here we go. Let's just have a look at this one. Underneath the net, around the side, just caught the net post. It was a whisker away from rolling across the table on Zhu Jin's side. Trademark Zhu Jin there. Forehand topspin from the backhand side of the table. It has to be said, Ian, that Zhu Jin was very well beaten in the semi-final against teammate Ma Long, and Vladimir Samsonov won the first 2 games against Timo Boll, looking as though he could make the final.
Well, exactly. Ma Long was just too quick on the first attack against Zhu Jin, and that result certainly surprised me because they'd played twice before this year on the GAC Group World Tour, and both matches had gone the full 7 games with honours shared. Ma Long, I think, had won in Hungary, and Zhu Jin in native Shanghai.
That was a great push from Samsonov. Delicate touch required to keep that ball tight. But the service drifted long. Zhu Jin straight in with the forehand topspin. Samsonov with his second serve in this sequence of 2.
Left. 4-3.
What a point, and well done, the 36-year-old Belarusian Vladimir Samsonov. He took Zhu Jin on at his own game, topspin to topspin away from the table. I have to say, at this point of the rally, I'm backing Zhu Jin. Full marks to Samsonov. He constructed the point well, he sprayed the ball around the table, and that will give him a massive boost to win a point like that. 5-3, Samsonov leads.
Vladimir Samsonov is very, very safe in the way that he plays. But you tend to feel that once Zhu Jin has time to play that forehand, he needs time to play, then he's always going to be the favourite. It's somehow Vlad has to stop Zhu Jin playing the first forehand.
5-all.
That was a great service by Zhu Jin, pushed it through with no spin. Samsonov thought there was backspin, he lifted the ball and it flew off the end of the table. Great use of the wrist by Zhu Jin, disguising the spin, but Samsonov replies with an excellent short backspin service. Zhu Jin failing to lift the spin, pushes the ball into the net.
5-7.
So, an excellent start by Vladimir Samsonov. The 2 players now just using the towel, composing themselves, thinking through what they're going to do, what tactics they're going to employ. And the senior pro out there, playing in black, is in charge at the moment. And that was an excellent forehand topspin down the line. Samsonov takes Zhuzhin on topspin against topspin, and then plays slightly slow a topspin into the backhand of Zhuzhin, wins the point. 9-5, Samsonov in the lead. Zhuzhin forcing Samsonov away from the table, and while it looks spectacular stuff, if Zhuzhin's close to the table and Samsonov's away from the table, the outcome is almost inevitable. Samsonov needs to stay close to the table, needs to play strong topspins. Second serve coming up. Tactics were perfect by Samsonov. He got the return that he would have liked. Ball was slightly up, but it was deep. See here on the return, Zhuzhin going for the long push. It's almost on the baseline, and Samsonov just lifts a little bit too much. 7-9, Zhuzhin with his two serves. Again, the touch, the feeling was outstanding. Read the spin, kept the ball tight. Again, the tactics were good from Samsonov. Kept the ball tight, waited for the opportunity to get in. There he goes. He's showing here that he's keen to get in. It just caught the top of the net, pinged it off the edge of the table. But Samsonov's looking good. He's certainly playing tactically very well, and he's now serving with 2 game points. That was a great serve. Long, fast serve, inviting the topspin from Zhuzhin. And Samsonov's virtually saying, you have the first topspin, I'm going to make the counter topspin. And that's what he did and won the point. Well done, Vladimir Samsonov.
Well, great credit to Vladdy, and I just feel that I'm seeing the semi-final again. This is exactly how Vladimir Samsonov started against Timo Boll in the semi-final early today. He made a very positive start. His feeling for the table tennis ball was good, but then Timo Boll rather accelerated, became more active, and won 4 games in a row to end the hopes of the man from Minsk. Now, played against Marlon earlier today. Well, Zhuzhin was absolutely blown away by the speed of the world number 2. Never got into a rhythm, and in this first game, never really got into a rhythm.
Samsonov to serve at the start of the second game, having won the first game 11 points to 8. Races to pick the ball up from the back of the court. He wants to keep this play continuous. He's in fine form at the moment. And that was a great backhand. Very relaxed, very elegant. Like the world-class player he is, appears to have so much time. That's interesting. The umpires called it down. In other words, it's hit the side of the table.
I'm not so sure, Don.
The rule of thumb is if it hits the table and goes upwards, it's hit the top. If it hits the table and goes down, it's hit the side. Samsonov's in a tough situation here. He's not sure. But in the end, like the great sportsman that he is, he's given the point to Zhuzhin. So the score actually stands at 2-1 for Vladimir Samsonov.
I have to say, from that angle that Zhuzhin played that forehand, I think for it to be a side is, well, not impossible, but next to impossible. I think that's the right decision.
Well done, Samsonov. He's put that point out of his mind. He's focusing on the next point. What's happened, you can't influence. Focus your attention on the next point is a good rule of thumb for any young players.
2-4.
Just overhits the forehand, Zhu Jin. Samsonov just apologises for the net cord. Zhu Jin with his 2 serves. Just overhit the forehand topspin, Samsonov. He's working the ball around the table. He saw Zhu Jin looking to edge around his backhand to play the forehand from the backhand side, so he went down the line, wide to the forehand. Tactics again were good. Just didn't quite pull the shot off.
5-3.
And Zhu Jin there, overhitting the flick. And Samsonov 5-3, his 2 serves.
6-3.
And it's Samsonov in with the first topspin into the backhand of Zhu Jin. Tries to get round. Indeed does get round, but makes an error with the forehand topspin.
3-7.
And at the moment, the momentum very much with the gentleman on screen there. The senior pro, the 36-year-old. He's certainly in charge of affairs at the moment. And that just emphasises it even more. Wonderful forehand topspin down the line. But I guess, Ian, we've got to remember it was a very similar situation against Timo Boll.
Well, that's true, and also when they played in the group stage, it was quite a reversal of what we're seeing at the moment.
8-4.
The reverse backhand topspin on the diagonal from Zhu Jin. But Samsonov with a 4-point lead, and Samsonov just taking his time. Players are entitled to towel down every 6 points. That's exactly what Samsonov is doing. And there he is. He's ready for action. And indeed, he has his 2 serves to come. Good reverse backhand topspin. Zhu Jin, pen holder, exploits this new, relatively new technique, uses both sides of the racket. Zhu Jin tried to do the soft block, but Samsonov kept the ball deep. There's the topspin. Just watch for this drop shot coming now. But the ball's very deep. With the topspin, it kicks off the table. And Zhu Jin looks with dismay at the table. And the forehand topspin down the line. Zhu Jin can't get into a rhythm yet because he's not settled down. He doesn't know where the ball's going to go. And Vladimir Samsonov with 5 game points.
5-10.
There it is, assisted by the net cord, but I think the outcome of that second game was inevitable. And Vladimir Samsonov wins the second game 11-5, leads by 2 games to 0.
Well, very impressive from Vladimir Samsonov. Zhu Jin certainly below his best, making more unforced errors than is usual, especially from the forehand. In the last 2 years, we've become very, very used to this dynamic forehand from Zhu Jin, destroying opponent after opponent after opponent, and especially Zhu Jin effective against European players who rarely come up against any style of play remotely similar. I think back to last year, 2011, February, the Qatar Open in Doha. Zhu Jin played Timo Boll in the final, and Zhu Jin beat Timo Boll 4-0 in about 20 minutes. It was quite painful for the German, but now mistakes being made by Zhu Jin, and Vladimir Samsonov growing in confidence.
Zhu Jin to serve at the start of the 3rd game. Zhu Jin just rushing the push there, we'll see on the replay. pushing the ball off the side of the table. It's a ferocious forehand topspin from Zhu Jin. Starts round the back of him and finishes up above his head, the racket. It's a long stroke, very powerful.
Two.
The reverse backhand topspin down the line, just overhit by Zhu Jin. And it's now 2 points each.
They're very fast attacking over the table, Zhu Jin. And I know that Zhu Jin has got an immense respect for Vladimir Samsonov. The service there just drifts too long, gives Samsonov the chance, and that is the area of table tennis where Zhu Jin is so very, very good on the serve and first attack. Well, on that occasion, the first attack flew long and the service wasn't really short enough.
Great rally. Both players topspinning the ball so low over the top of the net. And there we see one net cord. And even though it's fairly slow, they're still keeping it very low. And Zhu Jin just winning a couple of topspin to topspin rallies that we're giving a little bit of confidence. So far, it has been Samsonov who's dominated this match. 11-8, 11-5, he won the first two games, but you just sense now Zhu Jin just won a couple of big rallies. Whether the momentum is just temporarily changing. Powerful forehand topspin deep into the backhand of Samsonov. There he goes, round he goes, and that's very aggressive topspin. The ball fizzing with topspin. Zhu Jin 6-3. Excellent placement by Samsonov into the body of Zhu Jin. Ended up playing that topspin from a very cramped position, hence the error.
Well, credit to Vladimir Samsonov, he's matched Zhu Jin in the rallies. And if you can match a Chinese player in the rallies, then you have a massive chance.
Great play from Samsonov. Wonderful retrieving from Zhu Jin. Look at him, he's almost into the barriers that side of the table. And he even managed to get a bat on that ball and almost returned it. Wonderful rally. Well played, Vladimir Samsonov. The return was very tight from Zhu Jin. Samsonov tried to get the ball out wide to the Chinese player's forehand. Shakes his head with disappointment as we move into the second half of this game. It's Zhu Jin who leads 7-5. The left-handed penhole grip player Zhu Jin there trying to get the ball out wide to the right-handed Belarusian player's forehand. superb backhand. Top spin out wide to Zhu Jin's forehand. Wonderful technique, elbow, wrist, all moving in perfect coordination. And the end result is the ball going like a rocket wide to Zhu Jin's forehand.
9-7.
Just didn't quite get over the net. Samsonov. And so Zhu Jin with his 2 serves leads 9-7. 3 game points for the number 3 ranked player in the world, 22-year-old Zhu Jin. The forehand topspin from Zhu Jin into the body of Samsonov seals the 3rd game for China, 11 points to 7, but Samsonov still leads by 2 games to 1.
And also the coach Qin Zijian, he sent Zhu Jin out by himself to play, and no doubt he is preparing Marlon for the final later this afternoon against Timo Boll. But there, Zhu Jin, another refinement, as we said earlier, in the penhold grip style of play. In the 1980s, the traditional style was to use one side of the racket only, the short pin pulls. And along came Lu Goliang, now the head coach of the Chinese men's team. He used short pin pulls on the forehand and developed this backhand topspin. Then Marlin used the smooth rubber both sides, but used the traditional method to block the ball. And then we had Wang Hao, who uses both sides of the racket for every single stroke and puts an immense amount of rotation on the table tennis ball. And now we have another development in Zhu Jin, outstandingly powerful.
Samsonov to serve at the start of the 4th game.
Wallop.
Brave service, long and fast with backspin, straight down the line. And then the backhand topspin on the diagonal. The serve drifted long, as we'll see here on the replay. Zhu Jin's in with a topspin, but this counter backhand topspin. Elbow, wrist, perfection in action. Just the start that Vladimir Samsonov needed. Having lost that 3rd game, he's come out and he's certainly been the more aggressive. Zhu Jin looking to play that forehand topspin down the line. It would have been a winner, but it was a high-risk shot. And unfortunately, from Zhu Jin's point of view, it didn't come off. But I'm sure Samsonov's delighted. He leads by 4 points to 0. And indeed, Samsonov with his 2 serves to come. Clever by the 36-year-old there. Couldn't quite get the power he required, so he just threw the ball up in the air. No speed, no spin. And the variation winning the point. Slightly fortunate there, but the perfect start, Ian, for Vladimir Samsonov.
Well, you have to blink just a little bit to look at the score. 6-love, and considering that in the group match, 2 days ago, Zhu Jin really overpowered Vladimir Samsonov, so this is quite a turnaround. We have supporters of Mr. Samsonov. Maybe we'll get the Chinese contingent in the group with Chai Ho, Zhu Jin. Play faster, play harder, more steam to the engine. Oh, mistake after mistake, Don. I'm rather surprised.
Well, at the moment, it's all steam to the Samsonov engine. He leads by 8 points to 0. And this is an amazing performance in this fourth game. Who would have thought it? And now Samsonov with 9-0 lead. Oh, what a point! Samsonov is on fire. And now we have a situation. Does a senior pro playing another senior pro, do we have a diplomatic point? I suspect we will have. Oh, he can't beat him, 11-0. Made it look pretty obvious, though.
Yeah, I don't think that was accidental.
And there you are. I've given you a point, but I'm not going to give you any more. That backhand topspin, absolutely superb on the diagonal. And quite incredibly, Samsonov takes the fourth game by 11 points to 1. What a performance.
Well, I go back 4 years to the Belarus Open. Zuzhin would be, what, 18 years old at the time, 2008? They played in a team event, and Zuzhin beat Vladimir Samsonov in the team event. Then 2 days later in the singles, Zuzhin lost to Samsonov in the final. And ever since, Zuzhin has always won when the two have met. And I think before we started the day, maybe Zuzhin was the pundit's favourite to win the tournament, let alone the bronze medal. And here he has really lost confidence after losing so comfortably to Marlon in the semi-finals this morning. And Vladimir Samsonov, I mean, look at the expression on his face. What is going on here? He's a little bemused himself, but he's 3 games to 1 ahead.
Zuzhin serving, start of the 5th game. And that was a great forehand topspin from Zuzhin. He takes the first point. By Zuzhin's very high standards, that was a relatively unforced error. A wry smile appears on his face. He knows that. He was very well beaten in the semi-final against teammate Marlong. Maybe it's taken a little bit out of him. But having said that, you can only play as well as your opponent allows you, and Samsonov has been quite superb so far in this match. A little bit of good fortune for Zuzhin. See that on the replay. Samsonov does well to retrieve that one, but this catches the net, drops in front of Samsonov. Not much he can do about that. 3-1, Zuzhin in the lead.
4-1. Zuzhin has made a quite incredible number of unforced errors from the forehand. Not the Zuzhin that we are accustomed to seeing. But I think the crowd adopting Vladimir Samsonov, the European player. Oh dear, dear, dear. I think you're the Houdini in that point.
Certainly, good fortune favouring China there. It clips the top of the net. You can see the net cord wobbling. And it was enough to deflect the ball and cause the error from Vladimir Samsonov. 5-1, having lost 11-1, Zuzhin returns and wins 5 of the first 6 points in the 6th game. In the 5th game, of course, I should say, but Samsonov there taking no prisoners.
A different technique, though.
That forehand topspin just caught the top of the net. It flicked it off the end of the table. And Zuzhin now with a 6-2 lead. Of course, Samsonov now just 1 game away from securing 3rd place here at the Echo Arena in the World Cup.
4. 4, 6.
Wonderful play. He's played that shot so well. Just relaxes, lets the arm flow. Elbow, wrist. And he's now back in this 5th game. 1 point adrift. Samsonov, 5-6. A lot of topspin flying around out there. And the crowd now getting involved. My Chinese isn't as good as my co-commentators Ian Marshall, but I'm hearing a lot of Jayos, and I'm also hearing a lot of come on Vladdy. So mixed feelings with the crowd. Europe versus China. It's an excellent match so far.
But this is what we need. We need Europe versus Asia, Europe versus China. We need this competition badly in table tennis. At the moment, China dominates, followed by Asia, followed by Europe.
Samsonov there went for the backhand topspin. It just caught the top edge of his racket, flew off the end.
Seems to be, Don, wherever you go in the world, there's always a contingent of Chinese supporters. It doesn't matter which country you play table tennis in, there's always a group of Chinese come to support.
Oh, what a rally. Xu Jin doing very well to get back into the rally. And that's down to wonderful footwork. And there we have some of those Chinese supporters that you were mentioning, Ian. As you say, they pop up in all corners of the world. They are table tennis bonkers in China. Not far off the national sport, if it's in fact not the national sport. And so Xu Jin now with 4 game points. And the crowd won't be disappointed, because the longer this goes on, they're enjoying every point. There it is. Xu Jin takes the 5th game, 11 points to 6. But Samsonov still leads by 3 games to 2. Can he hang on in?
Well, if he can get a good start, yes. The problem for Vladimir Samsonov is going to be if Xu Jin can get a trail of start in this 6th game, his confidence will grow, the mighty forehand will go into overdrive, and Vladdy will have some problems. Now, if Vladdy can be there around about 6-6, 7-7, then he has a massive, massive chance. And certainly, Vladimir Samsonov has played very well in the last month or so. He gave Zhang Jike, the eventual Olympic champion, a very, very severe test in the quarterfinals in London's XL Arena. He led by 3 games to 2 before losing 4-3. So he has proved, as he has done over the years, that he can play against the mighty Chinese. And the question is really, for my money, can he get a good start in this game?
Samsonov needs a good start in this 6th game, and he's got the service, and he's now ready to start. What a brave service to start with. The long fast serve out wide to the Xu Jin forehand. The angles were absolutely superb. Again, it was the long service this time down the line. But Xu Jin very quick on his feet, as you can see. He gets round, plays the forehand topspin, but look at that angle. Out wide to Xu Jin's forehand. First 2 points for Samsonov. And he's delighted, he punches the air. He's taken the point against the serve, and Xu Jin has called timeout. Of course, Xu Jin 3-2 down in games. He can't afford to lose another game. He has to win the 2 remaining games. And he senses that his opponent has come out of the traps flying, so to speak, in this 6th game. So the players now take a 1-minute break. Each player has the opportunity to call timeout once during the match. And Zhu Jin has taken that opportunity. Probably a good call in.
Well, I think he has really no choice whatsoever. I think you've got to give great credit to Vladimir Samsonov's mental capabilities. He was well beaten by Zhu Jin 2 days ago in the group stage of proceedings. He's laid history to rest. He's come out fresh. And great credit to Vladimir Samsonov for his attitude and his positive approach.
The Chinese coach there just looking on. He's just overseeing Ma Long's preparation for the final. But obviously, it's quite interesting what's going on out here. And I think he'll be a little surprised to see Zhu Jin under the cosh. Relentless topspins from Zhu Jin. Moving the ball around the table, but a constant barrage from Zhu Jin. And that's an important point once you've called a timeout, psychologically, to win that first point after the minute's break is a significant one.
3-1.
It's a bit late with that call, I think, Mr. Purcell.
The score is at 3-1. And the score now 4-1 in favour of Vladimir Samsonov. Excellent positive play by Samsonov. Good service in behind the serve with a strong topspin into the body of Zhu Jin. And Vladimir Samsonov now has to be the favourite to take 3rd spot. But there's still quite a lot of work to be done. He leads 5-1. He needs just one more game. And Zhu Jin just taking his time. Wonderful placement from Zhu Jin. Kept the ball deep into Samsonov's backhand. There we see him. And then there's the one with side spin going out wide to Samsonov's forehand. But still, Samsonov with a 3-point lead. Tactics were very good there by Samsonov. He pushed the ball wide to the forehand. Just missed the control shot deep into Zhu Jin's backhand. The lead now down to 2 points. The crowd getting really involved now. Samsonov just asking the question, did it touch? And it'll be very interesting here. Samsonov is playing, asking the question, and the umpire has accepted that it touched. Zhu Jin, being the sportsman that he is, pointed to the table. Tom Purcell there doing absolutely the appropriate thing. Point to Vladimir Samsonov. And you can hear the roar of delight from Vladimir Samsonov. There's a good forehand topspin from wide on the backhand side. And the 36-year-old is now 7-3 in the lead, 4 points away from 3rd spot.
Well, he mentioned a moment ago the coach Qin Zijian just looking through the curtains. I spoke to Qin Zijian yesterday, and he sees Zhu Jin as a future Olympic, a future world champion. He believes that Zhu Jin has got a massive future ahead of him. But here he's been taught a lesson.
But by Zhu Jin's high standards, that was a relatively unforced error. His forehand topspin, we'll just see that again on the replay. He's in position well, catches the top of the net, flicks it off the end of the table. And Samsonov now 8-4. Leads by 3 games to 2 and 8 points to 4. That backhand topspin has worked incredibly well throughout this match. In fact, throughout this tournament for Vladimir Samsonov. 9-4, 2 points away from victory. And 6 match points now for Vladimir Samsonov. What an excellent performance by the European player. So it looks as though the 3rd, 4th playoff is going the way of Europe, barring a remarkable comeback. And that was a remarkable backhand topspin, the reverse action using the red side of the racket. But I suspect that was a little bit of caution to the wind, chancing his arm. Still, 5 match points remained for Samsonov. That missed by a whisker. 2 match points saved, 4 remain. Samsonov leads 10-6.
Now, if Vladimir Samsonov loses the next point, I would strongly recommend he takes a timeout.
We'll never find out, Ian, because Vladimir Samsonov's forehand topspin wins this 3rd, 4th playoff. 11 points to 6 in the 6th game. Samsonov wins by 4 points to 2, and that really is an excellent performance by the 36-year-old from Belarus. And you can hear popular with the crowd. And the win against the Chinese player puts Europe 1-0 up in the matches this afternoon. And the crowd very warm in their appreciation for Zhu Jin. But there we have on screen Vladimir Samsonov, 3rd place in the LIEBHERR Men's World Cup Table Tennis Tournament 2012. Well done, Samsonov. And we can just enjoy some action from that 3rd match playoff.